Most people carry more than they show. You're gonna walk past strangers every day who barely keep it together, and you won't know it. The barista who smiled at you might be grieving. The coworker who's always on time might be on the edge. And maybe you're watching this right now. You feel like hanging by a thread and you're still showing up. We live in the world that values performance more than presence. We're expected to move forward, stay productive, meet deadlines, pay the bills, and be emotionally available all at once. And sometimes we can't because we were broken, we're lazy, or weak. But here's the truth no one says often enough: you are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You're not a failure for being tired. You're just human. This is the reason why I ride. The hum of the engine, the open road, the sound of nothing but the wind. These are not just fancy moments, these are my form of therapy. They remind me that silence is not emptiness. It's where my healing happens. Some people journal, some people draw, others cry it out. But for me, I write it out. I go to a mountain, I listen to nothingness, and just breathe. Not because I have all the answers, but because it's the only time I can feel like I can exhale. Even if no one sees the weight you carry, even if no one understands what you've been through, your story and your journey matters. You're not invincible, you're just quiet. And in that quiet, you build your power, you build your identity, and you build your strength. You don't need to be loud to be brave. You just need to keep on going. There's a certain fatigue that comes from the body, not from the soul. You know that feeling when you're tired, you can't sleep, you stare at the ceiling 2 a.m., wondering if you're doing enough, being enough, or even living enough. It's a kind of exhaustion of pretending you're okay when you're actually not okay. Our culture glorifies hustle. Rest is earned, they say. But if we wait to earn rest, we'll never stop. We'll never breathe. We'll crash without warning. That's the hard lesson I learned. Being tired doesn't mean you're broken. It means you stayed strong for too long. Taking a ride or doing an adventure is not even about escape. It's about finding space to rest while in motion. Paradoxical? Maybe. But that's the beautiful thing about life. It's not always straight. It's not always going up. Sometimes you just need to recover while you move forward. Sometimes healing happens in the middle of everything. Mid-ride, mid-task, mid-sunset. I used to feel guilty of slowing down, like I was wasting time. But now I realize that rest isn't a waste. It's part of the music. It's part of the tempo. You can't sprint through life without breaking something. You'll have to breathe, and you don't need permission to do that. So if you're watching this, you're tired, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you have to know this. You're not failing, you're just human. Go take your break. Go out for a drive. Go out for a walk. Go eat that fries. Go eat that ice cream. Stay by the cliff. Drink some coffee. Reset. Refill. Recenter. Rest is not a weakness. It's a proof that you're refueling. We were taught to hold on, to keep pushing, keep trying, to never quit. But nobody ever taught us that letting go can be brave. Letting go and walking away isn't always a sign of defeat. Sometimes, walking away is the beginning of peace. There are moments on the road where the view is beautiful but the trail is too bad. You want to go, you want to push, but every instinct in your body says no. Life is like that, my friend. Sometimes the job that you have, the relationship that you have, it all feels familiar, but you don't know it's quietly killing you. It's draining your energy because you're staying there and you're getting hurt. You're taking advantage, you're not being valued, you're always pushed aside. You have to let go. Letting go doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're finally chasing yourself. You're chasing yourself that respects you. You're chasing yourself that feels better. I've held to things longer than I should have, out of fear, guilt, pride, and especially kindness. But riding and doing my solo rides taught me this. What's meant to stay in your life won't require you to break yourself to keep it. That's stuck in my head. When you let go, you make peace for something new, something better, something healing, something that gives you peace. And that doesn't happen overnight. It will hurt. You'll question yourself along the way and you'll miss the comfort of what was. But eventually, you'll breathe easier. And one day you'll look back and say, man, that was the day I called myself home. Our mind holds to things that our body can explain. Sometimes the only way to release it is to move. That's why I ride. Not to chase something, but to unchain what's stuck inside my heart. When I throttle forward, when I push the bike, when I trail on the mountains, my mind and my soul gets quieter. I don't know, the guilt fades away. The pain gets softer. It's not magic. It's motion. It's giving my soul a language that the mouth can never speak. It's something that gives me power to express myself. Some people find that in the gym, maybe on a hike, but I find it in motorbikes. I find it in two wheels. The wind brushing my jacket, the hum of the road beneath my boots. Every kilometer helped me to shed something in my soul. Maybe anger, fear, pressure, or special expectations. We think healing requires stillness, but most oftentimes healing requires momentum, a push forward, a release. So don't be afraid to move. Don't sit and wait for the pain to pass. Take a walk, ride out, step into the sun, shower, breathe in the dust, cry on the ride if you want to, but move. You move. Healing always doesn't look like a breakthrough. Sometimes it looks like a ride with no words. Sometimes it's you, your bike, your music, and a heart that's slowly finding the rhythm to be yourself again. There's always that pressure to explain yourself. That pressure of why you left, why you change, why you choose a different path. But the truth is, you don't owe anyone a version of yourself that makes them comfortable. When I started pursuing myself, people asked if I was lonely. I was crazy. They said I was boring. I was a scam. When I built my business out of the last money I had, instead of those late nights, unending gossip fellowships, they always made me feel the odd man out. I get invited most of the times, but you know the feeling of You were there because you were just an option to fill the gap. You were there, but you don't feel you belong. I stopped doing that. I kept going. I kept on pursuing the better version of me, quietly and steadily. Because I realized the only person who has to understand your journey is you. We spend so much time seeking approval from people who don't carry our pain, our dreams, our struggles, our battles. That approval will cost you a lot. It will delay your healing, it will delay your growth, and you have to understand that the biggest asset that you have is your time. What you owe yourself is honesty. You owe yourself forgiveness. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself a life that fits your soul, not just a social feed. Some of the most meaningful seasons of your life will be misunderstood, but that doesn't make them any less valid. In fact, you're finally living for yourself. You don't need applause. You don't need approval. You don't need alignment. You don't need signs. You don't need people cheering for you. You have to understand that the game of being better means the only person in the auditorium cheering for you is you. So ride your road, do your thing, build your dreams, even if no one gets it.